Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Clever Money Hacks. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment and acknowledge you. Because right now, most people are passively consuming content, looking for external solutions to their financial problems. But not you. You are here to look inward, to understand the very wiring of your own mind. That choice to master your inner world is what separates the successful from the stagnant. It is the foundation of all true power. Now let's get to work. What if I told you that the biggest threat to your financial future isn't your income, your bills, or the stock market? It's a series of invisible psychological traps, tripwires in your own mind, that have been expertly designed by marketers to make you spend. Today, we're not just going to identify these traps. We're going to give you the mental tools to disarm them. And we are starting right now with the single most powerful mind trick you can use to protect your wallet. That first trick is called creating friction. Our modern world is built for frictionless spending. Companies like Amazon, Uber, and Apple spend billions of dollars to remove every possible barrier between your desire and your purchase. One-click buy, Face ID, tap to pay, these are all weapons of convenience designed to get you to spend without thinking. Your job is to fight back by intentionally making it harder to spend. The simple hack? Go into your online accounts, your Amazon account, your phone's digital wallet, and delete your saved credit card information. The simple act of having to get up, find your wallet, and manually type in those 16 digits creates a moment of pause. It's a small barrier, a point of friction, that gives your logical brain a precious few seconds to step in and ask, do I really need this? This one act reclaims control from the impulsive part of your brain and can save you thousands. That is the first mind trick. Now that you understand that we are fighting a psychological war, not just a financial one, let's break down the other 4 mind tricks that will help you win it. But first, our crucial reminder. The information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial or psychological advice. Your financial journey is unique. Always conduct your own thorough research and consult with a qualified financial advisor. This video is not sponsored. Before we explore the other tricks, let's understand the battlefield, your brain. You essentially have 2 brains competing for control of your wallet. You have the ancient, impulsive lizard brain, the limbic system, that wants instant gratification, comfort, and social status. It sees a shiny new gadget and screams, I want it now. Then you have the modern, logical human brain, the prefrontal cortex, that can think about long-term goals, consequences, and strategic planning. Every time you overspend, it's because the lizard brain won the battle. The 5 tricks in this video are all designed to give your logical brain a fighting chance to step in and take control back from the lizard. Mind trick number 1, creating friction, the deep dive. We've introduced the concept, but let's expand on it. Deleting your saved credit cards is the first level. The next level is to implement a cash and debit only system for certain categories of spending. For example, your fun money, the money for dining out, entertainment, or hobbies, should be handled with cash. At the beginning of the week, you withdraw the amount you've budgeted for that category. When the cash is gone, it's gone. There is no swiping a credit card. Why is this so effective? Because spending cash is psychologically painful. Handing over 5 $20 bills feels much more real and significant than tapping a piece of plastic. This pain creates a natural brake on your spending. Another way to create friction is the unfollow button. Your social media feeds are carefully curated advertising engines. Every influencer post, every targeted ad, is designed to create desire. You must be ruthless. Unfollow any account that consistently makes you feel envious or makes you want to buy things. You are intentionally creating friction between yourself and the triggers that cause you to spend. Mind trick number 2, the 48-hour rule, the impulse killer. This is a classic for a reason, and it is the ultimate weapon against large, unplanned purchases. As we've discussed before, the rule is simple. For any non-essential purchase over a certain amount, say $100, you are forbidden from buying it for at least 48 hours. But what do you do during those 48 hours? This is not just a waiting period. It's an active analysis period. First, you write down the item and why you want it. This forces you to articulate the emotional driver behind the purchase. Is it because you think it will make you happy, more respected, or solve a problem? Second, you must actively research at least 2 alternatives. This could be a cheaper brand, a used version on Facebook Marketplace, or even a way to solve your problem for free. This shatters the illusion that this specific item is the only solution. Third, you must calculate the life energy cost of the item. If you make $25 an hour after taxes, that $500 new phone isn't just $500. It's 20 hours of your life. It's 2.5 full days of your work. The question then becomes, am I willing to trade 20 hours of my finite life on this planet for this phone? This three-step process during the 48-hour cooldown period systematically dismantles the emotional, impulsive arguments from your lizard brain and allows your logical brain to make a fully informed decision. The desire almost always fades when confronted with cold, hard logic. Mind trick number 3, naming your savings, the emotional goal setting. Most people have one generic savings account. This is a huge psychological mistake. The word savings is abstract, boring, and emotionally empty. It's easy to steal from an abstract concept. The trick here is to give your money a specific, emotional purpose. You will go to your online bank, which usually allows you to create multiple savings accounts for free, and you will give each one a powerful, emotional name. You don't have a savings account anymore. You now have a $10,000 financial freedom fund, a trip to Italy with my family 2026 account, a future dream home down payment account, a destroy my student loans account. Now, when you are tempted to make an impulse purchase, the question in your mind is no longer, should I pull from my savings? It is, am I going to steal money from my family's trip to Italy to buy this thing? You have now attached an emotional consequence to the act of frivolous spending. You have given your savings a purpose that is more powerful than your fleeting desires. You can even find a picture that represents that goal and tape it to your debit card. Every time you go to swipe, you are reminded of what you are truly working for. This simple act of naming your money transforms saving from a boring chore into an exciting, emotionally driven mission. Okay, let's take a breath. We have just installed 3 powerful pieces of software into your financial mind. The ability to create friction, the discipline of the 48-hour rule, and the emotional power of naming your goals. If you're starting to see that you have far more control over your spending than you thought, hit that like button right now. It's a declaration that you are taking back the power. And comment below, of these first 3 mind tricks, which one are you going to implement this week? Now, let's move on to the next 2 habits, which are designed to protect your most valuable and finite resource, your daily willpower. Mind trick number 4, the pre-decide philosophy, the willpower protector. Have you ever noticed that you're great at sticking to your diet in the morning, but by the end of a long, stressful day, you're more likely to order a pizza? That's not a moral failing. It's a well-documented psychological phenomenon called decision fatigue. Your willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired the more you use it throughout the day. Every small decision you make, what to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which email to answer first, drains a little bit of your mental energy. By the end of the day, your decision-making muscle is exhausted, which makes you incredibly vulnerable to making poor financial choices. Your impulsive lizard brain takes over because your logical brain is too tired to fight back. The most successful people understand this, and they don't try to fight it with more willpower. That's a losing battle. Instead, they strategically eliminate as many decisions as possible from their day. They pre-decide. They build systems and routines that run on autopilot, preserving their precious willpower for the few decisions that truly matter. You must do the same with your finances. Let's look at some examples of pre-decision. First, automate your financial core. We've talked about this before, but it is the ultimate expression of this mind trick. You pre-decide that you are a person who saves and invests 15% of your income. You set up the automatic transfers on payday. The decision is now made for the rest of the year. You never have to spend a single ounce of willpower deciding whether to save or spend that money. It just happens. You pre-decide that you will never miss a bill payment by setting all your utilities and credit cards on autopay. You have eliminated a whole category of stressful monthly decisions. Second, plan your meals. The daily question of what's for dinner is a willpower killer. When you're tired and hungry, the path of least resistance is almost always expensive and unhealthy takeout. You can preempt this failure by creating a weekly meal plan every Sunday. You decide what you're going to eat for the week, you buy the groceries, and you even do some of the prep work. Now, the decision is already made. On Wednesday night, you're not deciding what to eat. You're simply executing the plan you made when your willpower was high. Third, Create spending rules. You can pre-decide on specific rules for your personal spending. For example, I only buy coffee out on Mondays and Fridays. Or, I only go out to a restaurant once a week on Saturday. Or my budget for new clothes is $100 a month, and once it's gone, it's gone. These are not restrictive rules. They are liberating. They free you from the constant, low-level mental battle of having to decide over and over again whether you should or shouldn't spend money. You made the decision once, when you were in a logical state of mind, and now you simply follow your own system. By pre-deciding, you protect your willpower and ensure that your actions align with your long-term goals, not your short-term impulses. Mind trick number 5, the active tracking method, the consciousness raiser. This final trick is a short-term, high-impact exercise that is guaranteed to change your relationship with money forever. Most people have no real idea where their money goes. They swipe their card, they tap their phone, and the money just vanishes into a digital ether. It's frictionless and unconscious. This mind trick is designed to do the exact opposite, to force you to become consciously and even painfully aware of every single dollar that leaves your possession. Here's the hack. For the next 30 days, you are going to carry a small, pocket-sized notebook and a pen with you everywhere you go. And you are going to write down every single purchase you make immediately after you make it. Not at the end of the day, not at the end of the week. Immediately. You buy a coffee for $5? You pull out the notebook and write, "Coffee, $5. You buy groceries for $87? You write it down. You pay a bill online for $52.30? You write it down. Why is this simple act so powerful? It works on 2 psychological levels. First, the pain of acknowledgement. The physical act of stopping, pulling out a notebook, and writing down your purchase introduces a powerful moment of friction and mindfulness. It forces you to look your spending directly in the eye. Suddenly, that mindless $5 coffee isn't so mindless anymore. You have to acknowledge it. This simple act of observation changes your behavior. You will find yourself pausing before a purchase and asking, "Do I really want to have to write this down?" Often, the answer will be no. Second, the power of pattern recognition. After 30 days of this active tracking, you will have an undeniable, handwritten record of your financial life. You will sit down and review it, and the patterns will be shocking. You might discover you're spending $200 a month on lunches you don't even remember. You might see a dozen small subscriptions that are bleeding you dry. You might realize how much you spend on convenience items. This is not a budget. A budget is a plan for the future. Active tracking is an honest diagnosis of the present. You are not restricting yourself from spending. You are simply forcing yourself to be aware of it. This 30-day experiment will give you more clarity on your true spending habits than years of looking at credit card statements. It raises your consciousness, and that awareness is the first step toward real, lasting change. So there you have it. 5 powerful mind tricks to disarm the psychological traps that lead to overspending. Creating friction, the 48-hour rule, naming your savings, the pre-decide philosophy, and the active tracking method. These are not budgeting tips. These are psychological weapons. They are the tools you will use to win the war that is being waged for your money, a war that is fought not in a bank, but inside your own mind. Now, let's make this intensely practical with a final interactive exercise. I want you to grab that same pen and paper from our last exercise. We are going to conduct a trigger audit. A trigger is the specific situation, emotion, or place that cues your desire to spend money impulsively. First, I want you to identify your top 3 spending triggers. Be brutally honest with yourself. Is it an emotional trigger? Do you spend when you're stressed, bored, sad, or even when you're celebrating? Is it a situational trigger? Does it happen at a specific time of day, like late night scrolling on your phone? Is it a location, like walking through the mall or the checkout aisle at the grocery store? Is it a social trigger? Does it happen when you're out with a certain group of friends who encourage spending? Write down your top 3 triggers. Now, for the most important part. For each trigger, you are going to create an if-then plan. This is a pre-planned response that your logical brain creates now, so your impulsive brain doesn't have to make a decision in the moment. For example, if I feel stressed after a long day at work, then I will spend 15 minutes listening to a podcast instead of opening Amazon. If I am out with my friends and they want to go shopping, then I will suggest we go for a walk or get a coffee instead. If it's 10 p.m. and I am bored and scrolling on my phone, then I will put my phone in another room and read 10 pages of a book. This if-then planning is one of the most powerful techniques in behavioral psychology for changing habits. You are giving your brain a new, predetermined path to follow when it encounters a trigger. You are rewriting the automatic script. Mastering the psychology of your spending is the foundational skill that makes all other financial goals possible. It is the engine that allows you to climb the 7 levels of financial freedom we talked about in our last video. Without control over your spending, you will never have the capital to save, to invest, or to build the life you truly desire. I'll link that guide for you. It's the perfect roadmap to apply the money you'll save using these tricks. If this video has armed you with the mental tools to take back control of your spending, show your support and hit that like button. If you are committed to becoming the master of your own mind and your own money, then make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful strategies. And finally, let's commit. Comment below, what is the #1 spending trigger you are going to disarm this week? Thanks so much for joining us today on Clever Money Hacks. Our mission is to provide you with high-quality and valuable information to help you take control of your financial future, one smart decision at a time. Make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications on, because we're always working on new content to bring you more clever money hacks and actionable financial tips and tricks right here on Clever Money Hacks. Until then, master your mind and keep making those clever money moves. Bye for now.